This is intended for a mature audience only. Bitches.
Welcome, my fellow deviants, to Raw and Uncut. I am Randy, and I am joined by...
Meg?
Izzy with the fatty.
A fatty? You make it sound like we're smoking dope in here.
No, I was thinking about my butt.
It ain't fat.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't know that.
They do
I
now.
want to go in the closet. You're so mean to me. Fuck you.
Anyway, for those of you just joining us, we are three friends that are pushing the boundaries of social norms and bringing them to you through this podcast. We don't have any cleanup, do we? I don't think so. We've been pretty good about wiping our cum off our lips and...
Lick this ass.
Yeah.
Cleaning up after ourselves.
Yeah, no? Hey, taking a shower? Let's do it. So, today's safe word is going to be taco.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Our listeners are so used to you giving out like some kind of comment after the safe word, and you go,
It's taco. What do you want from me?
I don't know.
I like tacos.
Wow. Such a letdown. Sorry, deviants. I'm sorry out there.
Tacos.
You gotta, for our avid deviants out there that listen to our show, we got to tell you up front now, we've been recording all day today, and Izzy is on his 5th smash.
We don't know that.
No, I definitely know that.
What? Frankly, I think I'm on my 3rd.
No, you are definitely on your 5th.
Definitely killed the case.
And they come in a pack of 4, and I just opened up another one.
Well, guys, join me on my recovery.
Well, let's get into today's topic. So today we're going to be discussing the topics of voyeurism and exhibitionism. So my favorite.
Yeah.
If y'all listened into our BDSM test, you'll remember that my voyeurism was 99%.
What was mine? It's like 70s?
I don't know.
70s? 76, somewhere
Yeah,
around
mine was like the third one from the top.
there? Okay.
Yeah. So we all like to watch people having sex.
Yep.
So voyeurism is typically when someone, like I just said, likes to watch others having sex. Now, this doesn't mean that it's like watching porn or watching somebody on a webcam or something of that matter. Like, that is a part of voyeurism. But the other side of voyeurism is like the live action, like you're in the room or you see them in a park or something like that. You like to watch. So that's voyeurism in a nutshell, and we're going to jump into it a little bit deeper, but you good?
It's live. So you want to see them in person. Stop laughing at me. Leave me alone.
So then whereas exhibitionism is typically when the person likes to be watched, likes to have people see them being naked.
Wait, that's the
Expeditionism.
Okay.
All right. So they like it when somebody sees them naked or sees them having sex, or just the act of being caught or the potential of being caught having sex or doing something naughty. Okay. So, and then you have nudism. Nudism is an actual lifestyle, though. It's where people who don't like to wear clothes. It has nothing to do with sex, and it just people like to be naked. You have a lot of your nudist beaches out there, nudist colonies, nudist households even. So I'm thinking about turning my house into a nudist household.
I used to be a nudist.
We already know you went to the nude beach and didn't take your clothes off. That was in like 3 episodes ago.
No, I'm talking about as a kid, though. I remember, I used to hate wearing clothes. So my mom would always, run around trying to put clothes on me, and I'm like, no. Just freedom. And then my sister came along, and I was like, I got to start putting clothes on.
So we'll start off with voyeurism. like I said earlier, this is a fetish where people like to watch other people having sex, or actually even hearing them have sex. So just, you don't have to be in the room, but just hearing them is also a form of voyeurism, or being told about the other person's sexual experiences is also a form of voyeurism.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like you sitting here and listen to somebody in the room over there banging it out, like that's technically a form of voyeurism.
I can see how that gets you in the mood, though. Yeah, like
Right. So voyeurism is actually one of the most common fetishes out there, according to the Journal of Sex and Research. Did you know that?
Ladies and
Oh,
gentlemen.
yes.
So
Don't deny your inner instincts. You know you like to watch.
well, that brings up a good topic, watchers. Do you know what a watcher is?
Well, as the name implies, they're the ones that enjoy watching the sexual activities being performed, but not necessarily the ones joining in.
Right.
Or
so
partaking.
basically, they are the ones that sit in the corner and watch the sex and just, they don't partake in it, though.
I want to smoke a cigar while they're doing it.
So, have you ever been asked to be a watcher?
Oh, man.
Yes. I've been a watcher.
I've never been asked. But I would probably, depending on who it is. Like if I find them attractive, yeah, I'd probably be like, let me grab my cigar.
So you've actually been a watcher, though?
Yes.
So how'd that go?
I mean, it's 2 different times. One was a couple, married couple, trying something new. I just sat there and watched them have sex. They pretty much just acted like I wasn't there at all and went on their business, did their thing. The other one, I actually had to sit in the closet. They liked the what's it called? The
thrill?
The thrill of possibly me opening up those closet doors.
Like being caught.
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't mind. I mean, I didn't touch myself or anything like that. People can, watchers can. Usually watcher community will follow the main couples or partners lead when it comes to what they can and can't do. So, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've watched people have sex, but I don't necessarily know.
If you've been asked specifically to?
I don't think I've never been asked to specifically be a watcher. Now, I have seen people have sex.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know, not in an illegal way.
Right.
Oh, you just caught them.
No, I've been in the room when they had started having sex, and it's just you know.
I've kind of been in those situations, like roommating and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I've been in the same space technically, but I wasn't watching them. And maybe that was a turn on for them, but you know,
probably was.
I wasn't invited.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I wasn't invited to watch people have sex, but I just happened to be in the room when they started having sex, and
It just unfolded.
It just unfolded. So, like, I remember this one time I was having a party here at my house.
Keep hitting the mic, I'm gonna slap you.
And there were 2 individuals who decided they were going to play strip bartender. And then whenever they spilled the alcohol as they were pouring shots, they had to take off their clothing. And the next thing I know, before long, within minutes, they were both naked having sex on the couch.
Well, goddamn.
I mean, mind you, I was standing right there in the kitchen and they can see the living room. So it's like, okay, this is what we're doing. Watching the titties bounce.
Mischievous laugh. Oh my goodness.
If you haven't figured it out already, the silent one on this podcast might have been involved in that.
Oh goodness.
And she's sitting here biting her tongue. So, but yeah, so I mean, that's just one time, like, where it's like, I've just happened to be in the room when it started, and it's like, okay, do I leave or do I go? You know?
Noodles.
So, or do I stay here and watch? So is it taboo though?
Taboo?
I don't think it is. I mean, if the situation arose like you were just explaining, and you weren't specifically asked, but the act is happening in front of you, they know you're there. So unless they kick you out, I mean, that's nonverbal consent. I don't think it's taboo though. I think more and more people are. I think it's the easiest fetish to start.
Maybe. I could see that.
I mean, I'm not talking about little things like using toys or using straps. The easiest of the main kinks, I think it's the easiest one to do because they don't necessarily have to join in.
Yeah.
They just watch.
So then that brings up the question of, do watchers fall into that swinger community?
Ooh.
Now, I would probably say yes, because the one swinger group that I know, they have, when they have their parties, you don't have to join in. You can sit there and watch the group do their thing. So I think it is an accepted kink in the swinger community.
Okay.
It makes sense. I mean, I can see where it would fall into the swinger community as a kink.
Yeah.
And then whereas it could also be its standalone fetish.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
So I do believe that. I could see where it could go both ways, essentially. Mm-hmm. So some common misconceptions though when it comes to voyeurism. It's not just a fetish where someone likes to watch other people having sex, like say through a peephole or secretly filming their genitalia, like by wearing a camera in their shoe, and doing what like they call upskirting. Do you know what that is?
Oh, that's the nefarious side of it though.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's the nefarious side of it. So, and that's what I'm trying to get at is it's not that.
Right.
Like that is the criminal side of things. And we'll get into it here in a little bit more when we get a little bit further, but there is legal ways to do this.
Really?
And
without their consent?
No.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. This is a consent community again.
Okay.
So you're not out here just like, peeping through windows.
I was about to say,
or upskirting, or putting a camera in locker rooms and stuff like that. That is an extreme version of the voyeurism aspect of it, which is illegal.
Yeah, because that's one of my biggest fears. Like, as a truck driver, I shower everywhere, use all the restrooms, and I'm like,
oh, I think I've seen your video.
Fuck you. As I'm like in the shower, I'm like looking at these vents and stuff, and I'm like, what are the chances that someone just put a camera in
I'm
there?
not gonna lie. Every time I go into a restaurant, any type of bathroom that's not my house, I'm looking.
Yeah, I
always do.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You have to nowadays. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that, local law enforcement here found those cameras in the female locker room out here at the gym, the main gym that a lot of people in the community use.
Oh, God.
So, but again, voyeurism does not mean that they're out there spying on you without your knowledge.
Right.
Just like we've talked before in other episodes, this is a fetish that is done consensually, just like any other fetish in the community. So with that, do you guys have any voyeurism stories you want to tell?
Voyeurism story. I'm weak on that.
You're weak on that?
Yeah, I don't have no real experience with voyeurism. Like watching two people or multiple people just having sex live. No, it's more of like let's say a roommate in the other room, they start going at it and stuff, and then they tell me about their story of like their sexual encounters and stuff like that, and I'll hear them out. But that's the extent of voyeurism for me.
Yeah, so I used to I had a couple people that would send me their videos. I'd request them. If you one of my doms that I had, he was the one with the foot thing.
God.
Wait. So if people send you videos of them doing stuff, is that voyeurism too?
Technically, yes. That is a category of voyeurism. So, like, if I'm fucking somebody and I send it to you to watch.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back on the board.
Yeah, he would send me videos of him with other women.
Okay.
And then I'd have another guy that he would. I mean, they would just. I would request them. Of course, this isn't just one of those unsolicited dick pic things, but yeah, I usually watch a lot like that. Not full sessions, mostly just clips of those. It's been a while since I've actually been in a room or next to a room where somebody else was having sex.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you I can hear you through my wall.
No, you can't.
What's that rattling, Randy?
That's why I have to keep the closet doors closed.
You're gonna now.
We share a wall together, and I can hear it. When I hear water running through her Alexa, I know what's going on.
That's hilarious. We set the Alexa to turn on music every time it heard water. So, because we kept having sex in the shower, and the shower wall shares the other. So I was afraid he was hearing us every time that we had sex. So every time Alexa hears the water, she'll come on. So like in the middle of the night when I've got to piss, she'll hear me pee, and then she'll start playing music. I haven't quite figured out how to time that right.
I didn't even know you could set up Alexa like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So for me, I am very big in, like I said, I do enjoy voyeurism. I enjoy watching, and I enjoy what the next topic we're going to talk about is an exhibitionism as well. I enjoy being watched. I think I enjoy being watched more than I do watching though. But I used to have a friend, this is a long time ago. He enjoyed being watched, and that's kind of where I got my start into this fetish was he enjoyed being watched, but he liked to be watched in public places. So like I would go with him to the park or something like that, and he would like jerk off in his car, and I'd be standing over like by a park bench. He knew I was there watching him. And so that's kind of where I got my start into this fetish is in that world. And that's when I was younger. So, but yeah, so that's kind of, like I said, that's my extent. And then of course my exhibitionist stories are going to be a little bit more.
So wait, you prefer more so being watched then?
I do. Like I said, I do prefer more being watched.
Okay. Naughty.
Yeah. I like to be the porn star.
Oh, that explains the videos.
There are videos. There are videos out there. I will not tell you where they're at, so don't ask.
Find them.
So yeah, so we'll move. Oh, wait, you're back on the board. What was this you were back on the board with?
Well, I've had people send me videos of them doing stuff with other people. But for me, that was a major turnoff.
Oh,
you know?
So they basically just sent it to you more so, not because they knew you wanted to watch them. They were just doing it more so to brag.
Yeah, it's kind of like a brag situation.
That's not voyeurism then.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's... I mean, I guess it could be a little dabble.
If it does something for you.
I mean, we were talking in a sexual kind of, space. So I guess it gave him the let me send them a video of me doing something kind of deal. And when I got it, it was just like, no, that.
Less specific. instance.
I mean, it could also, I mean, it still technically, I guess, could be, because if it's doing something for the other person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
He definitely was more than willing to show off.
Mm.
And then, like I said, some people are just showing off just to show off.
Yeah.
It's not a fetish or turn on for them.
It's an ego thing.
Especially, well, you know, around the Marines.
Mm.
I've never been with a Marine.
Mm.
Wait. No, I have not. What's that look? Are they good? Are they okay? Are they
They're temporary.
Temporary?
So they're fantastic.
Okay. Just for
So
the moment.
They're temporary. When does this one get its expiration date?
I need my Marine then. Can I have one?
So exhibitionism.
So she's
I got
glossing.
questions too. Where's my Marine?
When you come out.
Oh my God.
All right. So we'll switch roles here and go into the exhibitionism side. Like we've kind of glossed over already, you know, just like with voyeurism, exhibitionism is also a consensual act. My smashes are starting to catch up to
I
me
was
now.
gonna say we are a couple smashes in for Randy too.
So it is a consensual act, and so just like with voyeurism, there's that criminal aspect to it, you know. So it's important to remember that exhibitionism is not just a bunch of people running around naked under trench coats and flashing you when you don't want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So is there people out there that are doing it, that are getting off on the idea of doing that and the act of doing that, and they feel they're exhibitionists? Yes, they are.
Mm-hmm.
And technically, by definition, yes, they are. But that is not what we're telling you to do.
Right.
So it's all fine and dandy to partake in the fetish, but just make sure it's consensual.
Mm-hmm.
So
Don't be a dick about it. Jesus.
But exhibitionism, just like voyeurism, is also one of the most common fetishes out there, according to the Journal of Sex and Research.
That makes sense. It's hand in hand.
They
Yeah.
are. So, and like I said, with my experience, like I kind of got started in the voyeurism side of things because I had a friend who liked the act of being watched.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm more into the exhibition side of things. So, so stuff like car sex, park sex, bathroom sex, skinny dipping.
Mm-hmm.
So they all can attract, you know, that level of exhibitionism, but it's important to remember that you're in a public place, which also means that you can attract unwitting eyes, which betrays that consent.
Yes.
Okay. Because now you have somebody who is involved in that act that is no longer a consenting party. So there are ways out there, though, that you can do these things and be safe about them and not get in trouble with them. There is a place locally to us here that is basically a nudist or clothing optional, I should say, resort. And they allow you, they have like 13 acres. So
No free balling.
you basically can go do what you want in that area, in that space.
Anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I'm like just a deer just walking through the woods, like, yay, and I just see two people banging, that's within.
That's
Perfectly okay.
Wow. Okay.
For
So-
second.
In Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks for telling people where we live, Izzy.
I didn't. I said where? Virginia?
Oh man.
It's a huge state. Chill out, dude.
Goodness gracious. But you know, that, like I said, in that exhibitionism, so that fear of getting caught, that potential of getting caught is, you know, driving that excitement for some of those people. So, and that's kind of that thrill, you know. I know for me, when it comes to exhibitionism, like that is like that thrill of possibly getting caught, you know, is what drives that, you know, let's do this. So
I think catching them is more hot, though, to me.
catching somebody having sex,
Yeah.
I've caught a lot of people having sex in my day, especially in law enforcement.
Yeah.
It's like a common thing to catch people having sex. I will tell you this sidebar story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It has been my experience that catching people having sex when it comes to white guys, they immediately go soft.
Really?
Immediately go soft.
I can see that.
But the black guys out there, I don't know what y'all be doing, but y'all stay hard as fuck.
Wow.
Like, I had one time I caught having sex in a car, and of course the excuses were, "Oh, we're just talking. We're just talking." Yeah, okay, with your pants around your ankles. Yeah, no, you're not. But I had one time that when I walked up and knocked on the window, he didn't stop. He just kept going.
What? He's a trooper. That's me right there.
He just kept railing it out.
Let's
and I'm
just
like,
finish it.
so then he gets out. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I knocked on the window. Well, I figured you were going to tell me to finish anyway.
Wow.
I was done one way or the other, so I might as well get mine. Like, okay, I don't fault you, man.
You know, respect right there.
I don't fault you, but put that thing away because you're already done and it's still hard. That's a dangerous weapon.
Oh my God! No way! Stop.
So, but yeah, so for me, like I said, like that exhibitionism, that fear of getting caught is what drives it. Now, do I do park sex and stuff like that? No, I don't. Not anymore. I'm a I'm a respectable person now. So, but when I was younger, and young, dumb, and full of cum,
Yeah, we've done it.
So, but
It's still hot.
park sex, car sex. Yeah, bathroom sex.
Yeah, car sex is a pretty easy one to do, I think.
Yeah, I think,
Them Ford F-150s. Y'all got so much space.
So I've done the car thing.
He's done a Ford F-150 too.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know so.
They're the best. The leg room is impeccable.
Oh my God.
That was in a park too, wasn't it?
I was stargazing.
Oh, that was a different time. Anyway, so Megan, your car sex.
Yeah, no. So car, I think, is the biggest one for me.
I've seen the rug burns on her knees.
Oh yeah,
from Gertie.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that just threw me back where I had sex on the floor on the carpet. That was a bad idea. I didn't know until after the fact. Like, rug burn. Don't play with that.
Yep, that hurt. Eventually, I got a fitted sheet that would fit over the back seat when I put it down, and then I would pull up she had like my car. I'm talking about my car. She had this like under storage thing, so I lift it up and put it around there. I still would have bruises, but the rug burn went away.
I used to have a Ford Mustang GT. So, bucket seats in the front. This was 1996, right?
I was born.
Oh, right. Keep it up. So, bucket seats in the front, small bench seat in the back, right? And so I was with somebody and we were traveling. Well, we didn't want to stop and get a hotel room because we're like, I don't want to spend that money. So we ended up sleeping in the Mustang. And we put the seats down, the back seats down, because if you put the back seats down, it opens up into the trunk.
Oh.
And so we actually like put our feet into the trunk. And slept like up, on the back seats, and ended up fucking in the trunk of the car that night. And I'm talking like, that's a tiny space.
Yeah.
So.
That's still hot though.
It was hot. Definitely hot.
Make it work.
Yep. Anyway, so while both fetishes are mainly consenting activities, it's like we've said, it's important to remember that there are activities within these fetishes that are considered to be non-consenting and illegal. Oh, Jesus.
You fucked a man in the truck. Sorry, that's what came to mind.
In the trunk.
Yeah, in the trunk.
I thought he said truck again. I'm
I
like,
thought he
God
did
damn,
too.
we're stuck on this F-150 story?
No, those are good memories.
You want to tell this F-150 story?
No, that's all they need to know. We banged it out in F-150. And there was plenty of space. And I appreciated. I was like, wow, man, this was a great buy.
Yes, next requirement for your next vehicle, make sure you have a spot too that opens up enough to have sex in it, especially if you're into this kind of stuff.
I thought I could do a split if I wanted to.
Oh man.
Yeah. Or you have a roof that comes off like the Jeeps that we have.
Like the Jeeps do? Yeah.
That would be interesting. Never done that.
So
With the roofs off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the bucket list.
So again, it's important to remember, like we said, like some of these actions can be non-consenting and illegal. For example, like when you expose yourself randomly, or upskirting, or sex in a public place where unconsenting parties can potentially see what's going on. So it's, make sure that you are, what's the word I'm looking for?
Don't be an asshole about it.
This is true. Don't be an asshole about it, but just make sure you're careful in what you do. Make sure you're careful and pay attention to what's going on around you. Plan. If you know somebody who knows a place to go that's out in the woods somewhere, make sure you talk to them and say, hey, where the hell do you fuck at? That nobody's going to see you. And, well, let me show you. Let me tell you where to go. So, there are ways to still enjoy the added excitement and to keep it legal, so that way and nobody's getting into trouble. Like we said earlier, like there's nature resorts or naturalist resorts, I should say, nude beaches, other spaces like the place that we were discussing where you can just basically go and do whatever you want. It's clothing optional.
Yeah. There's so many avenues. It's like Uber. Like you got the option to go the right path. And it's always that small group that ruins different path.
You said PAF.
I have an accent, okay?
No, you don't.
Soy puertorriqueño. There's a little...
Anyway.
So leave me alone.
It could be something as simple as inviting people into your home or attending a sex party. Those may be other options for you as outlets. So, if I have a hot tub, say in my backyard, and I want somebody to watch us having sex in a hot tub, like invite that person in, invite your watcher in per se, somebody that, and then make sure your neighbors can't see you.
Yeah.
So even though I think my neighbor would watch,
yeah.
What?
So, with that, does anybody have any other stories they want to tell?
About being watched or watching?
Either.
Any.
Being watched. Now that is definitely...
Where do you fall on being watched? Like, do you like to be watched?
I've never had
somebody watch.
Ooh, the alcohol tongue twister. Yeah, I've never had it happen, so I wouldn't know for sure. The idea of their like trying it out, yeah, because I would want to watch people too. Like,
well, let's set that up.
Girl, stop.
You can always start. So sometimes some of the individuals I've talked to that want to get started or possibility, what they'll do is they'll record a video and send it to somebody else first and see how they feel about sharing that, even though it's not, you're like, so you and somebody else have sex and you have them, or you record a portion of it and you send it to somebody else. And the feeling of how you felt about sending me and knowing that I'm watching that, even though we don't have any kind of relationship type, it's not like that with us. How that makes you feel will let you know whether you can go to that next step or not. Whether you can actually physically have someone in the same room, even if it's in the closet. Like, there's steps, so you don't always have to go. full blown right into it. I'm standing right there beside the bed, just eyeballing you.
Oh, I would want to raw dog it though.
Yeah.
It's either do it or don't do it.
Oh, you mean like rip the Band-Aid off?
Yeah.
I was like, raw dog? Wait a second. That's not what I did.
That's a different topic.
I was like, wait a second. We'd hop topic.
I'm like, skip the baby steps.
Like he wants him sitting at the chair right beside the bed.
Like, let's do it. And then I get a full feel of what it's like because I don't like to,
pussyfoot around.
Yeah. I'm like, let's do it if I want to do it. Mm-hmm. And then if I liked it, I'm like, ooh, okay. Mm-hmm. And if I don't like it, then I'm like, it's whatever kind of situation. Okay, everyone's nodding. So
who are we going to get to watch you?
Bitch, this is an exclusive. I need to open an OnlyFans at this point. I don't know. I don't. Stop.
Megan, you want to watch?
Sure.
Well, damn. Let me get my hose and figure them out first.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I don't think so. There's nothing to be ashamed about. One of the first times I think I was involved in a situation where I watched somebody else, I felt a little ashamed because they didn't tell me to leave, but they didn't tell me to watch either. And I kind of just found myself watching anyway. And then afterwards, I was like, I watched you. I kind of felt a little creepy about it. They're like, we know. I'm like, okay.
So that actually brings up, so for me, when I got started, like I was saying, I had a friend that liked to be watched. Mm-hmm. All right. So he was actually my roommate. Mm-hmm. I didn't know he liked to be watched at the time.
Yeah.
And he was gay.
Yeah.
We were not like a match compatible, so we didn't have sex together. And at the time when I first met him, he didn't know I was gay, but he ended up fucking in the bedroom when he thought I was drunk and passed out, which turned out not to be the case. And so he saw me watching them. And so, after that, it became more of a thing for him. Like I said, he liked to be watched. Like I said, we would go to the park and he would know that I'm sitting.
Sorry, it's the demons I'm trying to keep inside.
So we would go to the park and he would be parked in a spot. Now, mind you, we would make sure nobody was around and stuff like that, and then I would be not far away where I could see him and he would, masturbate in public or like in our barracks room, he would leave the shower door open, and leave the shower just cracked enough to where if I walked by, I could see him, and stuff like that. And so at first I kind of felt, I don't know, I didn't feel weird about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if it was what I was supposed to do.
Oh.
Because, again, there was no conversation on how far do you want this to go. Now, like I said, compatibility-wise, he was not what I was into. So me pushing that boundary of me catching him and having sex with him was not an issue because that's not something I would have done. But I don't know if that's what he wanted me to do.
Oh.
So, but yeah.
It can be difficult breaching that conversation.
That reminds me of a messed up story. Well, this was when I was in my teens. I was hanging out with a friend and we were walking through a park. Now, mind you, this is a family kind of environment though. Even though it's a park and you got your woody type atmosphere and stuff, but we ended up catching a couple just going at it. Off in the distance, we were crossing a bridge, and then as we were crossing the bridge, we noticed a couple off into the distance in the ravine area just going at it. I'm like, hey, look, just pointing them out they're fucking over there. And then the my friend at the time, she was like, "Oh yes, indeed, they are fucking." And we just stared for a bit, but then it was like kind of like that awkward of like,
right.
Oh man, is this right or is this wrong kind of situation? But at the same time, they're literally doing it
In public,
outside in public.
Right. And so one of the things that I'll say before we head out is that, you know, there are ways to do this legally and stuff like that. And the other side of that too is there are apps out there and websites that has that forum for this. So one of the main websites that's out there, if you're into this and you don't know, is that it's called squirt.org. And you literally...
Squirt.org?
Yes.
Okay.
So you literally can go on there and look... And now Izzy's going to look it up. So you got to make a profile.
Okay, stop.
So you can literally go on there and search by zip code, and it'll tell you locations where people do this kind of stuff. Meet up in public and stuff like that.
Safe space.
Safe. They put in there like parks and stuff like that, and they tell you like what to look out for, and you know when is it a good time to go, so you avoid families and stuff like that. So you know, now again, just like with everything else, there are nefarious things that happen and criminal element on the side of the things as well. So you have to be careful, but the website is designed to give people the outlet to seek out that opportunity.
And that's the situation with any community. There's always those people that take advantage and exploit and do
100%.
the wrong things, but they're not the representation of the whole community.
Right.
But they're the ones that get a lot of attention because of the negativity behind it.
Right. And, you know, I will say that I've been on that website and it, you know, if you do...
Tell me more, did she kiss that? Yeah.
Anyway. So if you do follow that and you follow the rules and stuff like that, you can set up safe meetings.
Okay.
So that way you're not, you know, getting unwitting eyes, unconsensual eyes watching.
Yeah.
You. So that about wraps up this episode of Raw and Uncut, my fellow deviants. If you want to know more about our show or reach out to any of the hosts, you can head over to our website at rawanduncutcast.com or look us up on Facebook at Raw and Uncut Cast, all one word. You can also send us an email, and it's very important actually that we talk about the email side for a second here, because we are getting ready to do a listener's tale coming up. And we're also looking to do a call-in live episode with our listeners where we can do a Q&A episode. So if you would like to be a part of either of those episodes, if you want to send us your story, we will omit your name out if you don't want us to tell your name and where you're from or anything like that.
Yeah, tell us your comfort level and we'll work with that.
Exactly, yeah. And so just any of the episodes that we've had, if you have a story that you'd like to share, just send us that. If you want to be part of the Q&A coming up, send us your information. We'll reach out to you so that way we can set it up for you to come on the show and ask your Q, and we can give you our A. So that email, though,
it's
is...
not my ass.
So that email, though, is rawanduncutcast@gmail.com. So like I said, send us your stories, get a hold of us if you want to be part of the Q&A. Be sure to follow and share us on your favorite platforms. But before we go, just as like all the other fetishes and stuff that we've talked about, consent is the key. Consent is the key in a lot of this. Make sure that you're experiencing your voyeur and exhibition. Your voyeur and exhibition fetish.
There you go.
That you stay within the legal boundaries while you're still pushing your own boundaries. And don't let anybody else push that boundary for you. If you know it's not safe, if you know it's not legal and you can get in trouble for it and you don't want to do it, don't let them make you do it. So be safe out there, you know, and I'll see you around Squirt.
Fuck me outside.
And choose your safe word wisely.
Like I said, fuck me outside.